Money. That's our topic of today. And specifically the mindset around money, being that it seems like so many people have such a different energy, wave, flow, frequency surrounding it, towards it. And for me, the majority of my life growing up, the idea of money was a very negative mindset versus, like when people thought of money, it was an obstacle. It was always something in the way versus, the older I get and the more people I meet, especially people who are anywhere near somewhat successful, if you want to use the word success, they look at money as an opportunity, as a way to jump ahead, as a way to get access to things, to put themselves in places of opportunity that they can, benefit from or advance onto. So, personally, if you don't know who I am, my name is Josh. I'm a content creator. I started out just graduated high school, skipped college, did all the retail jobs, thought to myself, you know what, if I just hunker down and stick to a job for 40, 50, 60 years, I can probably retire one day at 65. And turns out that all the people around me are around retirement age. And I was, why aren't they retired yet? Started asking them, you start working them for a few years, you start kind of getting to know them in conversations, and it's like, wow, that's my future. And then, over the last 5 years, whether it comes the pandemic or anything life will bring you, because things have been coming into their life throughout their whole life, and who knows what's going to come into mine throughout my life, you just start to realize, like, wow, if they weren't able to do it, not, or if many people in the same circumstances that I've been grown up and brought into and raised with aren't really set off or set up as well in the future in their endeavors that we were all told we might be. Then maybe I have to really change my plan around. Maybe I got to kind of rearrange what I'm going into. So, you know, obviously you could say, well, Josh, it's a person by person basis. Like wherever you end up in life is based on your choices, and a whole bunch of other things that is a person to person basis. But at the same time, like, there is this structured set of, plans that we all have for everyone. Like this, you grow up, you get raised, school, graduate. Some people go to college, some people go straight into working. If you go into college, you might get a, maybe a little bit more higher paying job is what you hope for, but then you end up realizing that a lot of the, like 60% of colleges degrees don't get used or whatever. I don't know if that's exactly accurate, but I think that's averagely like the percentage numbers. And then not only that, but the majority of people in my age, like I'm about to be 25 in a few months. I'm 24 right now. We're pretty much all been. I didn't go to college, but all the people that did, they're graduated. They have debt. They're making pretty much the same I'm making, and I know it's the potential in the long run. But if I'm working at a job right now, couldn't I potentially build that up in the long run anyway, without all that debt? Now, depending on what field or what you want to do for a living, that kind of will depend and determine what we're going to talk about here. But at the same time, when it comes to the whole mindset of money, many people think I have to go to college to get a lot of money. When it's like, if you look at every millionaire, almost, I think it's like the majority of millionaires are self-made or whatever. Not millionaires, billionaires are self-made. But I know that like a lot of like millionaires who made it themselves, they like made it themselves. It wasn't like an inherited thing. It wasn't an investing maybe, but it was something that they earned themselves through their life over their own efforts and endeavors and things. The choices that they made, the options they chose, and whatever path led them to that ending was their choice to get there. And now now I've realized, I've spent all my life asking people around me questions like this, like about money and about retirement and about overall just like livelihood, realizing I don't genuinely like the way they're living, the way they make money, the way they spend it, how much they have. I don't really like the way they live. The majority of these things. Now, that's not just a blanket statement on everybody, but overall, if you're gonna ask, um, okay, don't ask a broke person about money. Like they don't know. Ask someone who's rich. Don't ask someone who washes dishes how to cook. Don't ask someone who mows lawns how to fly a plane. Like you got to ask the person who flies it. You got to ask the person who cooks it. You got to ask the person who actually makes the money. So when it comes down to all these things, like once you started to and also get out there. The worst they can say is no. So all you can do is just start asking people. And now, but the quick question is how do you find those people? How do you find people who can actually push you ahead? Now that's where it gets hard. Now, once you start learning what your interests are, it's kind of easier to find those certain like endeavors. Like I found many mentors in my space, in my field of work, whether that's content creation or just overall the internet space. There's many different platforms and social media apps, and people are on all of them. So you can definitely use the internet as a very big help, super huge tool, big tool for a lot of these things. But even when it comes to the idea of money, back to we're kind of bringing it back to like the beginning here. Um, I think like the people you hang around, you know, the whole saying like, you know, you're only as best as the five people that you hang around. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depends how you look at it, that is way more accurate than you probably like to believe. The type of things you listen to every day, the type of motivation or the negative energy you put in your ears is the way you feel, the way you project yourself onto the world. If you wake up in a negative mindset, you're going to look at everything like it's going shitty, sucky. If you wake up in a positive mood, you're going to think that things are going good. You're going to think that you're feeling lucky today, and that maybe anything could happen in a positive way versus you're dreading to see what's going to happen next in the opposite light. So definitely, you know, take a whole lot of picture into your mindset and your vision on the world because not only your vision, your energy, and your, you know, frequency is so much bigger than you could ever really imagine. I've been watching a lot of Bob Proctor lately, um, about the whole like frequencies of things and you know the whole like the like paradigm shift. And honestly, like the majority of people in my life, at least that I grew up with, they don't even believe it's possible to make the money that I think I could or that I think I can. And not only that, they are, you know, this whole idea of like what's a real job. Like I made videos about wage slavery, and the first videos I made that did decent numbers on here, you know, a few thousand views, and I'm very very proud of those videos. We're discussing my wage slavery experience, and I say that and it's in a very extreme way, but the way the system's set up is it's really like modern day slavery as it is because you know slavery is you're buying your way out, right? And you can buy your way out of working if you get enough money. It's kind of bizarre to think that way, but and then you think to yourself, well, what's the purpose of life if you don't work? Like, there's so many other purposes to life. Like, there are people who make money in their sleep, who make money just whenever. So you don't have to necessarily be doing a 9 to 5, like punching in the clock to make money. Like, money is just an idea, and there's so many different ways to make it. So definitely you definitely rearrange your mindset towards what it is, how it works, and the whole system around it. That's what I'm saying, like the whole paradigm shift. Bob Proctor kind of specifies in the paradigm shift. That's his whole thing. But to be honest, I've really been experiencing a lot of that, so I definitely recommend you guys check that out. I could probably link some of that if I really. I guess I probably link some of that, so it might be down there in the description. We'll see. But yeah, overall, guys, I just want to give anybody motivation that it's possible to change your mindset, and the beginning of success all comes with believing it's possible. Um, Anything you've ever seen, there's a thought of it before it happened. So even like these steps, someone pictured these steps and imagined them, and they built them. Like this social media platform, this like this YouTube channel. I thought of this. I created it. This video right here. This morning I thought of this video. I thought of the ideas. You know, I felt comfortable with it. I felt confident enough, and here I am. And now it's come into creation all through thought. So everything was a thought first. And so you know when you say to picture something, you can't really picture the mind, but the mind is actually what sets you, I'm not to say free, but sets you on the level that you could be living on. It sounds ridiculous and almost sounds unbelievable. And someone who is down bad and has nothing to really, you know, live for, it's hard to really, you know, strive for something. But at the same time, people who have nothing to live for usually strive the hardest, or they like strive the most. I'm trying to say the worst. They put in the most effort because they understand they have nothing to lose. And so if you're at that point, you know, instead of thinking like, wow, what is he talking about mindset? Think about emotions. Like, oh, why don't you tell me the steps and how you can get, you know, like make money? You know, I don't know how you can make money. I know how people can make money. I know how you can get a job. You can do a bunch of things. But at the same time, like the way you want to make money to be fulfilled is a much different way than the way your neighbor, your parents, or even your friends make money or even live. And also, if you're living your entire life based around money, there's many. I've actually have a couple pictures. I'm gonna post right. I'm gonna put like right up here. What are you really striving for? You know, you might make it to the end and be like, you know what? What was the purpose? I think purpose and fulfillment is way stronger than actually the number. But definitely check it out. You know, those links down there if you want to check out some Bob Proctor stuff. Definitely helps out with the mindset. Definitely has changed mine whole outlook on everything. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'd love to hear your comments and opinions. So feel free to leave those down there in the comments down below, and feel free to follow us for some like more advice. Anyway, yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. So have a good day. God bless, and stay smooth.